15 months in prison. That's how long South Africa's top court has sentenced the former president Jacob Zuma for contempt of court. This follows Mr. Zuma's refusal to appear at an anti-corruption inquiry in February, accusing it of political bias. Mr. Zuma denies involvement in a number of graft scandals. He was ousted as president in 2018 over allegations of mismanagement and systematic corruption. Our Africa correspondent Andrew Harding now reports.
South Africa's top court was clear and scathing in its ruling, declaring that the former president Jacob Zuma was a manipulative liar who'd sought to destroy the rule of law to save his own skin.
No person is above the law, and every person, whatever be her or his rank or condition, is subject to the ordinary realm of the law and amenable to the jurisdiction of its tribunals.
Jacob Zuma, already on trial in a separate corruption case, now has 5 days to hand himself over to the police. This is an extraordinary moment for South Africa. Mr. Zuma still has some support here, people who believe he's been targeted as part of a vast political conspiracy. But many more South Africans will be relieved to see the judiciary holding firm. Mr. Zuma is facing jail for refusing to cooperate with this public inquiry into the corruption that flourished during his presidency. He insists he's innocent, a victim. But today, a man who last went to prison half a century ago for his role as a freedom fighter against racial apartheid is heading back to jail in the democracy he fought to build. Andrew Harding, BBC News.
Let's talk more about the significance and implication of this sentence. I'm joined from Cape Town by Erin Bates. She's a business journalist and legal expert who's been closely following this story. Erin, dare I say it's quite an impressive ruling, but what's the significance?
Indeed, Peter, that's right. This is really a singular judgment from the apex court in South Africa. The Constitutional Court is what we call the court of last instance, which means the buck really stops here. This is the end of the line for former President Jacob Zuma when it comes to flouting that order from the very same court to go and testify, as Andrew reported, at the state capture inquiry, which is investigating Zuma's relationship with the notorious Gupta family, who in fact has been sanctioned by the UK authorities. So this judgment from the Constitutional Court ordering for a jail sentence in a contempt application is singular. It's the first of its kind in the history of the Constitutional Court since democratic dispensation in South Africa.
And does Mr. Zuma have any right of appeal at all? I mean, he said he's going to address the nation very soon.
That's right. And in fact, minutes after this judgment was handed down by Justice Sisi Kambembe, who is acting as our Chief Justice at the moment, we heard, and in fact, our newspaper Business Day confirmed, that Zuma was consulting with his lawyers. Many of the legal experts I'm speaking to at some of our leading universities, some of our leading law firms have said they simply don't understand why, unless these lawyers are simply saying to the former president, you're up, you're out of options, the only options are available to you are to actually comply with this order from court and to go to prison.
Now, talking about complying with the order from the court, we've heard from his daughter this afternoon tweeting to say that they are prepared to march to the prison with their dad. I mean, if he decides to hand himself over to the authorities, is he likely to make a big deal of it?
Oh, certainly. And one of the professors I spoke to earlier today, Mcebisi Ndletyana, who's at the University of Johannesburg, was saying this is characteristic of former President Jacob Zuma. Someone who was a stalwart, who fought against apartheid and its tyranny, is known as a big and kind of bombastic character, not someone to shy away from facing this sentence, not someone to sort of cower as he goes to a police station as ordered by the court in the next 5 days. So he has until Sunday to do so. This is someone who in characteristic fashion is going to stand up tall, march into a police station, says Ndletyana, and hand himself over as required. And what's important about that, Peter, is that the court actually built in a contingency if Zuma weren't to do so. The judges were absolutely scathing about Zuma's conduct in terms of his disregard for the Constitution and the Constitutional Court, and therefore they built in an order to say if he weren't to comply by Sunday and go to a police station as ordered, it would then be up to our Minister of Police and our General of Police or our Commissioner to absolutely ensure and enforce that order and march him to a police station and then to prison.
Erin, seems like this story is going to give us a little bit more, and hopefully we can talk to you in the next coming days. Erin Bates, the business journalist and legal expert, speaking to me live from Cape Town. Thank you very much.